Good morning, guys. I'm Sarah, the Real Simple Mama, and I have a non-chicken related video just of something cool that I learned about that I wanted to show you guys. So the kids and my husband are headed to the park to go ride bikes for a little bit. We've had a really rough week. We had to put down our corgi, Einstein, so our dog passed away. So I'm down to just that one over there, the black one with the white spot on her tail. That's Sadie. The chickens are fine. Everything is okay. We've just had, it's just been a week. But I learned something by looking on the Plant Society forum that I'm in. So this video, again, it's not a chicken video. It's just a cool nature science educational video that I wanted to show you about this tree that's in front of you right now, my hibiscus tree. So I'm on this Facebook group where it's basically, people doing plant IDs, like, what is this weed, what is this flower, whatever. And I, of course, have been just kind of hanging out and reading it and sort of, stalking it for a while, but not really posting anything. And I found something really weird going on with this hibiscus tree, which is a little baby, and he's new to me. I've only had him a couple of months. And I saw this like weird thing happening with this hibiscus tree, and I've learned what it is. And I've also learned how to fix it. So if you are just randomly finding this video after doing a search, I'm going to show you what's going on and why, and then how to fix it. But essentially what was happening on the hibiscus tree, let me zoom in now and I'll show you what's up. So this is a hibiscus tree. My daughter calls it the Moana flower. I have a couple of other hibiscus. I have like a red one, and I have a yellow one back there. And they've always done really well for me, but this one started having like a bug infestation. Let me zoom in right here on the buds. And I was like, what is going on? This is ridiculous. And at first it looked like aphids, but then there's ants. I'm like, what in the heck is going on? And I've looked it up and I've done some reading on it, and I understand now what's going on, and it's crazy. So essentially what has happened is, and it's kind of the question of who came first, the aphid or the ants. My guess is that the aphids were first, but I'm not sure. And aphids are bad. These are aphid larvae. And they're really, really tiny white dots. And you'll find them often underneath a leaf, because essentially what they do is they get like to the veins of the leaves and they suck out the moisture. And aphids are bad, y'all. Aphids are bad. And bugs like ladybugs eat aphids. So ladybugs are helpers, and they help get these pests off of the plant. So I saw the white aphids, and I thought, oh crap, now I've got to figure out a way to get rid of these guys. See, here's some right here. But then as I watched, it's like, wait a minute, there's ants over here too. But the ants weren't eating them. They weren't carrying them off. What is going on? Guys, the ants are farmers. Or I guess maybe to be more accurate, they are like, they're having a nursery. The aphids are eating the plant, right? And they're sucking the liquid out of the plant. And then they secrete sort of a sugar water, which guess who likes that? The ants do. So the ants are basically propagating these aphids and taking care of the aphids because they want that sugar water. They want like that nectar. And I'm trying to focus in on here. Here we go. So, oh, I hear my hummingbirds. If you can see right in the middle of the shot, there's one right there. And they look like little light gray lumps. Or in this light, they look sort of light green. Those are the aphids. But the ants are going around and they're tending to them. And I'm trying really hard to get my phone to focus. Forgive me. So that's what's happening and why. The ants are going to keep caring for the aphids and basically keep raising aphids and getting them to have more aphids, because then they have more sugar water. And if you look, once I noticed this and I started paying attention, I have like a little ant freeway going up and down the stem of my hibiscus tree. And so over time, the ants figured out, hey, there's aphids up there. I don't know if they can smell the sugar water or what, but there they go. And so they've come up and they are on the buds of my hibiscus tree, and they're starting to be a little bit, look at this. Even up on, now this bloom was open yesterday, so this bloom is pretty much spent. But I mean, look at all that stuff that's on there. So that's the what and the why. Now is what to do. Now, if you found this video just doing a random Google search about trying to, trying to help your hibiscus plant what we have to be careful of is that the hibiscus is very sensitive to things, and you can't just go spraying pesticides or, wanting to kill everything, because of course it's going to have consequences for your plant as well. So step one, the easiest thing to do is, if a bud looks like it's pretty much ruined, you can just clip that off. And then you can just spray it with a fairly strong jet of just plain water, like literally just from your hose, which is what I'm about ready to do after I finish this video. So that's step one. And you're going to have to redo that a couple of times to get rid of everybody, right? The ants are going to be persistent. So you're just going to have to fight a battle. But the good news is with those things is you're not really damaging the plant. You're not hurting the plant, because that's the goal, right? We want to get rid of the pests and the things that are hurting the plant, but we don't want to hurt the plant also in the process. The next step is you can make a mix of soap and water, just soapy water. Don't really worry too much about the proportions or anything like that. You're going to want it to be pretty strong. The problem with that is it can hurt pollinators and it can fry your plant also. So if you get to that point, you've tried plan A, which is, cut off some of the buds that are really bad or just the ends of the branches, and just spray with fairly strong, just plain water. We're trying to get as many of, the ants aren't really the problem. The ants will leave if there's no more aphids. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get rid of the aphids, because the ants technically directly are not hurting my plant. It's the aphids that are the problem. So I need to do that. But the problem with soapy water is, if you think about it, as you spray soapy water, the water will evaporate, the soap will not. And if the soap is sitting on your plant while your plant is out in the sun, it will start to burn and fry your plant. Also, you don't want to spray soapy water on any of the good blooms or any buds that are about ready to open, because that's going to hurt your pollinators. Your pollinators they're not going to want to come by your flower, or if they do, it can make them very sick. So you just have to be very careful. After that, the other things you can do that are preventative, you can use diatomaceous earth for sure. You can make sure that your soil is well draining and that you're using compost. All those things can help keep pests off. But it was just this very interesting thing. The other thing that's interesting is I don't have it on my hibiscus bushes that are over here. My two that are here. One is on the left side of the shot and one is over here on the right. I don't have any ants in this weird ant farming, the ants with their pet aphids. It's only happening over here on my hibiscus tree, who I've only had for a few months. So I don't know if it's because it's a newer plant. I don't know what the deal is, but I just thought it was really, really interesting. So there are ants that are like coddling these little aphids because they want the sugar water that the aphids' bodies produce. So I thought that was really interesting. So I'm going to spray them down with plain water, because I don't want to hurt my hibiscus. It's a new baby, so he's still very fragile. He's very weak, and I certainly don't want to lose him, because I'm trying to fight some tiny little bugs. Real quick, I apologize, I forgot to mention, you can buy ladybugs. You can order them online. You can get them from local hardware stores, local pharmacies. Ladybugs will eat the aphids. The problem with releasing ladybugs, and it's still worth it in my mind, but the problem with it is they usually will only hang out for a day or two wherever you release them, and then they will move on. So that's not really a permanent solution, but they can certainly be a boost to help get rid of a lot of the population, over a day or two before they leave. If you do get ladybugs, this sounds crazy, but keep them in the fridge until you're ready to release them, and you need to release them at night, like at dusk, because then they'll be sleepy and then they won't really go anywhere. And you keep them in the fridge because that makes them very dormant. That's true of a lot of bugs, even like bees and things like that. It doesn't kill them, but their bodies get so cold that they sort of go into, like a stupor or a sleep. So I also read that you can spray your ladybugs right before you release them with like a little bit of Coke and water, like soda and water, and the sugar helps stick their wings just for a day or two, so they can't go anywhere, which is kind of crazy. I personally wouldn't do that. I feel bad for the ladybugs, but they can help you for a day or two eat as many aphids as possible before they move on. So the easy solutions are spraying with water and ladybugs, but it's just this like crazy situation that's going on here. And once I learned about it, let's get back over here, and read more about it. I'm trying to focus, I promise. There we go. I was absolutely fascinated. So here they are, the ants. With their little aphids. The little pet aphids, like, Mom, can I keep it? So I'm Sarah, the Real Simple Mama. It was just a, cool, weird little thing. Like, they've got some on this bud. So we're going to spray these down, and over the next couple of days, I'm going to have some ants angry at me because I'm getting rid of their little enterprise here. But I thought it was interesting, and so I thought I would teach you. I'll be back soon with more content. Thanks so much for watching.